You know what? Let me start with a story. A child and their parent were walking on the street. The child looks around. They're about 2 or 3 years old. They look up and they see a bluebird. And they point and they say, "What?" And the parent looks and says, "Oh, that's a bird." Child is happy, keeps walking. Now, this time they pass a home that has these bird feeders, and there are hummingbirds flittering around the bird feeder and like making all this noise. And the child points and says, "What?" Right? 2 and 3 years old, they're totally curious. And the parent looks up, probably from their phone or doing a million other things, and says, "Oh, that's a bird," and continues walking. And then they get to a park and the child sees a crow making this insane noise, circling over and over and over, because they probably see prey, and looks up and says, "What?" And the parent says, "That's a bird." And the child, in all its 2-year-old, insensitive, exciting self, right, stomps on the floor, pushes their hand together and says, "What?" How can all these 3 things be birds? We as human beings love to put things in boxes because it allows our brains to do everything else. I personally am a traumatic brain injury survivor. And so during the first 2 years after my traumatic injury, I had to put earphones and intense glasses that filtered things because my brain didn't know what to put in a box. And so every single noise I heard made my brain say, "What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What that?" And I could not function. And every light that filtered through my eyes were so overwhelming because my brain hadn't figured out how to put things in boxes, how to say, "This isn't important. The siren that you're hearing 3 blocks down isn't important. This light on the neon sign that you've walked by 100 times, we know what it says." But my brain hadn't figured out how to do that after my injury. And so I was just overwhelmed constantly by the barrage. If all of our brains, when our brains don't work right, that's what our brain does. The beauty of language is that we put things in boxes. This is a bird. It could be a bluebird, it can be a hummingbird, it can be a crow, it can be an eagle. It's all a bird. I don't need to deal with that. However, in doing that, we miss the beauty and the separateness of each and every single bird that we see because they're just birds. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.